course, this is neither the time nor the place, but I thought I might get at you for a moment. Got a proposition here.
Now, first, let us try to summarize Proposition Joe. Now, Prop Joe is the type of man that you will call the honest sneak. See, Joe understands that his power personally resides in him being reliable. Thus his name, Proposition Joe. Now, what this means is the front end of all of Joe's deals will always be honest. The front end will always be legit.
You know this right test, huh? Tell me that. Fair question. You can take my money and be handing me answers some I don't even need to know.
But see now, I don't do business that way. And I don't have a reputation for doing business that way.
You a snake, Joe.
You cross me, I'm a snake. But on a straight up proposition, the handshake, my word is my bond.
The sources of his information will always be precise. And anything that he says he's going to do for you, he is going to do for you. This is a part of his identity. But it's not because he's a good guy or he just has your best interest at heart. No, it's because to execute a good lie, the truth is also necessary. This is why the front end of the deal must always be 100 so that you lower your guard and it creates just enough trust for the back end of the deal. Now, how Joe works this scheme all throughout the show is by the time that you figure out that he played you on the back end of that first deal, it won't matter. And he doesn't bet on you killing him because he plans to have you in a position where you need him too much.
He's saying no. He's saying we fought for every one of them towers, and to give it up now would mark us as weak. He's saying if we do this, Prop Joe would have it over us, and we might never get out from under.
Now, Proposition Joe is smarter than Stringer Bell because Joe understands who he is and where he stands in the drug game. See, Joe knows he's not the toughest guy or the most dangerous guy. So he prides himself in being the man that the toughest and the dangerous guy will need if they value their life and their freedom.
How did you come by this?
Told you before, I keep my ear to the ground.
What are you going to do with it?
Maybe nothing. Charlie's not part of the co-op. Or maybe I tip him for a fee. What do you think a man with a whole lot of money would pay for his freedom?
See, Stringer Bell, Marlo, even Slim Charles, they all secretly idolize Proposition Joe. And I'm sure you're like, what? How? See, what impressed them so much about Joe is something that us young people forgot how to appreciate. And it's something simple. Age. Proposition Joe had age. See, when he wasn't trying to be grimy or a puppet master, you would love him for his wisdom. Of all of the main kingpins, Joe was the oldest. He's seen the most players come and go. This is why they clung to Joe, for understanding of how this non-violent man can survive in this dangerous game for so long. Think about it. Think back of how dependent Stringer was on Joe, of how dependent Marlo was on Joe. Like I said, the benefits of dealing with Joe on the front end is tremendous. This fat man is reliable. Remember, he had Marlo 2 steps ahead of all of the police when they were trying to raid his stash houses.
Zeros on the warrants. Minor arrests on the designated corner, sir.
They were tipped.
You think?
For us to come up this empty at all these locations, it has to be. This cocksucker Marlo thinks he's smarter than us. He is not.
Now, to make a long story short story shorter, what Proposition Joe depended on the most to keep him alive was his Greek dope connection. But he ran out of time. So let's hop into this video so I can break down where Joe went wrong. Now first, we must revisit the first meeting of Prop Joe and Omar. Now keep in mind, Omar is about 29 years old at this time, and he's still building his street reputation. It was surviving the first Barksdale War that elevated his name to legendary status. This is why Prop Joe talks to Omar with little respect at this time. But once he realizes how effective Omar is, he makes a deadly mistake and tries to turn Omar into his personal secret weapon.
This some of Avon's shit. You got Avon Barksdale chasing your ass all around town and you still find time to take his shit.
And it's your shit now.
What I want with that?
What anybody want with that, man?
How much you asking?
Oh, we free.
Free?
I'm saying I got a little proposition for you.
Now, I'm sure y'all remember the specifics of this proposition. But what we learn from this is a few things. One is that Omar was desperate to get to Avon. Otherwise, he wouldn't have come to Proposition Joe. Omar understands that Joe is rich. He does not need 4 JPEGs of Avon's work. But in a time where men used to operate with honor, this is what you call a gift of good faith. Thus, the reason he told Joe it's for free. The real motive is to eliminate Avon. And Joe benefits from this because the projects will be open again.
What makes you think I just ain't gonna take this shit off your hands and throw your ass up out of here?
Come on, man. Avon goes down, the projects be open market again, right?
Let me understand. Avon loses 100 large to me on a bet. Then you bring me some of his shit so that I can put your predatory self on his ass. Not his day, is it?
But I need y'all to look at this from a macro level and not a micro level. Because in reality, if Avon gets taken out, most likely Stringer will take the reins of the horse. This means that Joe already had preconceived thoughts of how he would finesse Stringer if he's left alone. And the proof of this is when Avon gets booked.
Silas?
Sold heroin like it was water. I mean, the motherfucker made himself some money.
I don't know who the fuck you talking about.
I know you don't. And the police don't. And the stick-up boys wouldn't have a fucking clue either. Cause Charlie Salas just sold dope. No profile, no street rep. Just buy for $1, sell for $2. Sometimes when you're back up against the wall, you go to the gun. I know, I've been there. But you ain't gotta live by it. Avon a soldier. That's who you want with you when the shit fly. But as far as business go,
You still got that connect?
right off the bowstring.
Now, the next time that we see Joe using Omar like his secret weapon is when he sicks him on Stringer.
First off, ain't nobody running up in them projects. Them West Side boys hurting over this more than even you. Trust me, as soon as our good shit run out, they fucked. Second, a whole passel of hard-ass hitters took a go at Brother Muzone and ain't lived to say shit about it. We go at the boy, no telling what might get stirred up. And if Stringer take a shot, he crosses Avon on it.
Man, put a bounty on him. Let some bushwhacking fiend back shoot his ass.
Oh, I pinned money on him, and first thing he come at me? Shit. Might as well just shoot myself now and get it over. There is one boy who could just pull this off. Only he won't take contract money.
Now, it may sound like he's using Omar for Brother Muzone and not Stringer, but think deeper. Joe is clever, and his trick is simple but effective. What he do is eliminate the short-term problem, but gives you a long-term problem. And because Stringer is so short-sighted, he's the perfect victim for Joe. See, Joe is a good leader, because a good leader observes the people and talks to them in their own language. So if you're talking to a baker, it behooves you to use baking analogies to get what you want. If you're talking to a fisherman, speak like a fisher.
It's like them birds of yours. They go out and they fly around the city. They free to do as they do. End of the day, they come back here, get water, get fed. 'Cause they know you got this place set up regular as the rain. No surprises. 'Cause at the end of the day, a man don't want no surprises. You know, birds neither. Same as what I'm offering.
This is called street smarts. And Joe was aware that Stringer was attending them community courses on macroeconomics. This is why Stringer always thought he see the bigger picture. But it's also why Joe knew your weakness and how to manipulate you. And he always talked to you in a business sense.
Should have just been the string. Buy for $1, sell for $2. That's all it need be. You got the towers. I got what goes in them. Later for all that bullshit. I'll talk to everybody. You do that, Holmes. Do that.
Now, there is nothing wrong with being business-minded or money-motivated. But sometimes in the streets, respect is more important than money. Because Stringer only cared about himself and money, it's this mindset that caused him to have a secret meeting with Omar to set up Brother Mozone, because it was beneficial. See, you were making more money, but at the expense of your respect symbol, which was the projects. This is why Avon said, I bleed red and you bleed green.
You know what the difference is between me and you? I bleed red. You bleed green. What you been building for us? Huh? You know what? I look at you these days, you know what I see? I see a man without a country. Not hard enough for this right here. And maybe, just maybe, not smart enough for them out there.
Something else that Stringer Bell lacked was empathy. Empathy allows us to get out of our own skin and get in someone else's. It allows us to see things out of someone else's eyes and determine how they're feeling based on how it will make us feel. See, Stringer lacked this important emotion. This is why he talked to his subordinates in a disrespectful way, in a condescending way, because he was too selfish to take the time and put himself in their shoes. He only cared about money, and over time, this naively caused him to think that everyone's ultimate goal is money, which is wrong, and he should understand this by looking at his best friend. Avon is a man who values respect over money. He would never beg his enemies for his life or try to bargain his life for money.
What y'all niggas want, man? Huh? Money? Is that it? Because if it is, man, I could be a better friend to y'all alive.
You still don't get it, do you? Huh? This ain't about your money, bro.
Now, after Joe indirectly gets Stringer smoke, he goes back to Butchie after some time and apologizes for Stringer not being 100. Because technically he was the middleman, so he should be held partially responsible. But that's not why he came. It's not because he's sorry. It's because he needs his secret weapon again. Somebody new named Marlo just came on the scene, and he feels like no one has the balls to fuck with him.
The point of the co-op is we stand together. We share information, and no one fucks with any of us.
No one fucks with me now.
Well, that don't mean there couldn't be some unforeseen
No one fucks with me now.
Now, just like Stringer had to learn that everything is not about money, Marlo is going to learn that everyone is not afraid of you or afraid to go to war with you, bro. But I'm going to leave that for part 2. Like I said, we could talk about this wire shit forever, y'all. I literally used to watch this show every damn day. But thanks for coming and showing me some love, y'all. You here in a man's world. It's your boy Swartz. It's time for me to get out of here. Go play with my son or something.